Hey scholars, thank you for joining me for my second lesson of the C3 program. Today we are going to be talking about core values, and our objective for today is Alice will be able to identify their core values and describe the role that those values play in their lives. When we think about values, values are the things that you believe are important in the way you live your life. And core values are values that you've really seen, that you've had, or that have held true for you for a very long time, and that will probably continue to be true for you into adulthood. Brené Brown in the book Dare to Lead said, living into our values means that we do more than profess our values. We practice them, we walk our talk, we are clear about what we believe and hold important, and we care that our intentions, words, thoughts, and behaviors align with those beliefs. Now, it's important to identify our own core values because they can guide our actions and our decisions, and they can help us to stay true to our beliefs.
Hey, what's up? I am Michelle B, and in this video I want to talk about living a values-based life. In this video I want to walk you through step by step how to define your values and how to start living a values-based life. Because values are like your Google Maps. You chuck your Google Maps on to guide you through the world, and if you're like me, you managed to take 3 wrong turns even though the lady was extremely clear in her direction. Take the 3rd exit, not the 2nd. But as a general rule, you always get directed back onto the right path. How is that for a metaphor? Your core values, if you choose, can drive your everyday actions and who you grow to be as a person. When you're living with defined values and you behave and you live in line with them, you just feel right. And the first step to doing that is getting real about them. Step 1, have a look at when you feel the most right. So I feel the most right when I am laying in the sunshine with Luke. I feel the most right when I have gone for a run. I feel the most right when I'm taking regular little steps outside of my comfort zone and when I'm taking in information that is outside my bubble. Think of all the times that you felt the most content, the most in line with who you want to be, the most alive and the most excited. Then pick out 3 to 5 values that really align with that feeling of just rightness. You might even go ahead and choose values that don't necessarily align with how you act and behave now, like for instance health and wellness. That's okay, just choose values that maybe you want to embody that you know will lead you to feeling the most right in life. Some other questions that might prompt you to start thinking about what your values might be are: who do you want to be, how do you want to feel, and what do you stand for? If you're having trouble deciding on what you value the most in life, you can use a resource that I've linked down below. It's basically a value card sort. So you can print out all of the cards, cut them out, and then you can have a very important, not important, and important pile. Go through each value and place them in the pile that feels right, and then keep on narrowing down until you have 3 to 5 values in place that feel the most right for you. Step 2 is to give your values an associated mantra. So one of my values is health and wellness, like physical and mental health. I've stretched that out into a mini mantra for myself, which isn't like my own self-made mantra, but it is mind and body first, everything else second. I think I posted this onto my Instagram just a few weeks ago. It's something that I can say to myself over and over again when I don't feel like going on a run in the morning, or when I feel like I just can't be bothered to make myself food and eat. You can repeat your mantras to yourself over and over, and every time they'll give you a little bit of energy, even if that sounds a little bit woo-woo. Step 3 is to understand what your values look like on a day-to-day basis. So if one of your values is to always be curious, what does that actually look like to you? Is it all about asking lots of questions when you meet a new person? Or maybe it's all about seeking out lots of new reading materials and always be learning? Is it watching documentaries that make you question your whole life? Or trying something new every weekend and traveling regularly? Write down a list or draw out a little mind map that demonstrates what your values actually look like in a day, a week, a month, or a year. Step 4 is to keep yourself on course. So your values are your Google Maps. They remind you of how you want to live and who you want to be, and of course you are going to get off course. Sadly, you do not have a little lady inside of your head that barks your values at you every time you take a wrong turn. You're responsible for reminding yourself that they exist often. So you might want to incorporate a weekly values check-in or a monthly values check-in into your routines. When you're planning out your week, you want to keep your values in mind. So defining my own values has been a really helpful thing for me. It's just helped me to see things more clearly and to push myself back on track whenever I veer off. So I'm really hoping that this exercise will be just as helpful for one of you. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel using the subscribe button down below. I would love to know.
All right, so when we think about our core values, it's important to really hone in on those things that are really important to us, and really pause and think about how those beliefs shape who we are and where we want to go or who we want to be. For today's exit ticket, I'm going to ask you 4 questions. There's really not a right or wrong answer for these, but really try to be honest and put some reflection and some thought into these. First, identify your 5 core values. If you want to see a complete list of core values, I know I kind of shared a partial list with you before, but if you just Google list of sample core values, you're going to get a ton of information. So if you are kind of having some trouble choosing what your values are, you can kind of pull up a list and narrow it down from there. But we're gonna identify your 5 core values, and then number 2, why is it important to understand your personal core values? Number 3, what does it mean to live your values? And the video kind of went into this in detail. And then number 4, in one paragraph of at least 5 complete sentences, describe how your values have shaped your actions and impacted your life. Include at least one specific example from your experiences. As always, these questions are linked right below the video. If you have any questions or want any more information to be able to answer these, please feel free to email me, benita.olguin@ideapublicschools.org. Otherwise, I look forward to reading your responses. Thank you.